Once upon a time there was a mother pig and her 3 piglets. 3 brothers are the same height. Round, pink, with the same funny tails. All summer the pigs played in the green grass, basked in the sun, basked in the puddles. But then autumn came. One day my mother said that it was time for them to think about winter. She asked them to build a big house. The younger brother said that winter is still far away. The middle brother said that he would build his own house when needed. And the older brother decided to build the house himself. The younger and middle brothers did nothing but play their games. It got colder and colder every day. The younger brother decided to build a house out of straw. The middle brother thought it would be very cold in the thatched house in winter. He decided to build a house from twigs and twigs. By the evening their housing was ready. They were very proud of themselves and could not get enough of their buildings. Now they were free and could do whatever they wanted. They decided to go to their older brother and see what kind of house he had built for himself. The older brother was busy building. He applied stones, kneaded clay and slowly built himself a reliable, durable home. The younger brothers found their older brother at work. They were very surprised at what kind of fortress he was building. The elder brother calmly continued to work. The younger and middle brothers began to joke and laugh at his house. They were so amused that their screeching echoed far across the lawn. The elder brother asked to be quiet, because the wolf could hear them. The younger and middle brothers were amused even more. They decided that the older brother was just a coward. And the 2 brave brothers went for a walk. On the way, they sang and danced, and when they entered the forest, they made such a noise that they woke up the wolf who was sleeping under the pine tree. The disgruntled and hungry wolf went to the place where the screeching of 2 stupid pigs came from. The brothers walked merrily and talked about how easily they would deal with the wolf. And suddenly they saw a real living wolf. He was standing behind a large tree. He had very evil eyes and a huge toothy mouth. The brothers were so frightened that their thin tails trembled finely. The wolf prepared to jump. He snapped his teeth and blinked his right eye. The pigs suddenly came to their senses and, screeching across the forest, rushed to run away. Raising clouds of dust, they rushed each to his own house. The younger brother ran to his thatched hut and slammed the door in front of the wolf. The wolf growled and demanded to open the door. The younger brother, out of fear, could not utter a word. Then the wolf began to blow. The light roof instantly flew off the thatched hut. The wolf took a deep breath and blew a second time, and the thatch house flew in all directions. The wolf was delighted, snapped his teeth, and pounced on his younger brother. But the pig deftly dodged and ran. He ran to the house of the middle brother. The brothers managed to lock themselves up and looked at each other in dismay. The wolf got angry and began to blow. The house is slightly askew. The wolf blew a second, then a third, then a fourth time. But the house was still standing. The wolf took a deep breath and blew for the 5th time. The house shook and fell apart. Only one door stood for some time in the middle of the ruins. In horror, the piglets rushed to the house of their elder brother. The wolf ran after them. He was sure that this time the pigs would not run away from him. The piglets quickly rushed past the large apple tree without even hitting it. And the wolf did not have time to turn and hit the apple tree, which covered him with apples. One hard apple hit him between the eyes. A big bump jumped on the wolf's forehead. At this time, the younger and middle brothers managed to run into the house of the older brother and bolt the door. The wolf ran to the door, growled and demanded to open the door. The younger brothers were very scared and could not say anything in return. And the elder brother knew that he and his brothers had nothing to fear in a solid stone house. Then the wolf sucked in more air and blew as soon as he could. But no matter how much it blew, not a single stone moved. And then he looked up and noticed a large, wide chimney on the roof. He carefully climbed onto the roof and began to go down the pipe. The pigs heard a rustle. The elder brother immediately guessed what was the matter. He quickly rushed to the cauldron in which water was boiling and tore off the lid. The wolf went down the pipe and fell straight into the cauldron. His eyes widened to his forehead. The scalded wolf flew out with a wild roar and rushed into the forest. And the three little pigs looked after him and were glad that they had so cleverly taught the evil robber a lesson. From that time on, the brothers and their mother began to live together under one roof. A long time ago, a miller kept a donkey. For many years, the donkey did hard work and was an indispensable helper for the miller. But the years passed, and the donkey became old and weak. He could no longer work at the mill, and the owner did not have the means to feed the animal. So, after a little reflection, the miller took the donkey out into the field and left him. The donkey stumbled on the spot for a long time, not knowing what to do. Suddenly he decided that he would go to the glorious city of Bremen to become a street musician and earn his living by playing the guitar. The road to the city took the donkey into the forest. For a long time he made his way through the trees until he met a sad dog lying on the grass. She had run a long way, and now she fell exhausted by the road. The donkey greeted the dog and asked why she was sad. Then the dog said that he used to be a great hunter, and such that not a single prey could escape. But now he has grown old and can no longer chase game. Therefore, the owner drove him out. The donkey thought a little, and then told the dog that he was planning to become a street musician. Suddenly the dog jumped off and barked happily. It turned out that he knows how to sing and plays the drums well, and therefore does not mind keeping the donkey company. On that and decided. Now the donkey did not go to Bremen alone. They walked through the forest together, and each sang in his own way as best he could. And then they met a cat on the road. He was so sad that the newly made friends could not pass by. They began to ask the cat why he was so unhappy. It turned out that the evil mistress drove the cat out of the house, because he was old and can no longer catch mice. Then the donkey conferred with the dog, and they decided to take the cat into the group as a violinist. And so the animals continued on their way to Bremen, until they met a rooster on the way. He sat on the hedge and crowed with horror all over the cock's throat. Friends spoke to him and learned that the rooster had escaped from the hostess, who considered him old and decided to cook soup out of him. Without thinking twice, the donkey, the dog and the cat called a rooster into the group, giving him a balalaika. So, the newly made troupe walked through the forest until night fell. Friends had no choice but to settle down for the night by a large tree. The donkey and the dog lay down from below, the cat climbed onto a branch, and the rooster sat on the very top of the tree. Suddenly a light flashed in the distance.
What?
The rooster perked up his senile eye and noticed the hut in which the light was dimly burning. Then the friends decided to spend the night in a hut. But when they made their way to the hut and looked out the window, they saw their four robbers celebrating another successful robbery. Already pretty hungry, the musicians decided to drive the bandits out of their lair. And now a plan ripened in the minds of friends. The donkey fell on the windowsill, the dog sat on the donkey, the cat on the dog, and a rooster turned out to be at the top of the pyramid. Then the donkey started screaming, the dog barking, the cat meowing, and the rooster crowing. Frightened by the suddenly appeared monster, the robbers ran out of the hut in fear. And friends happily settled in the hut. They ate the robbers' food and went to bed quietly. However, the bandits did not want to put up with the fact that their lair was taken over. And then they sent one of the robbers to investigate. Under cover of night, he made his way into the hut, but in the darkness did not notice the cat and stepped on it. The cat scratched the bandit's leg in a rage. The dog bit his hand, the rooster pecked in the head, and the donkey kicked his hoof with all his might in the eye. So, the bandit ran out of the hut in horror and told the rest of the robbers that terrible giants had settled in their lair, from whom it was better to stay away. From that moment on, no one disturbed the friends in the forest house. They lived in peace and harmony and called themselves the Bremen Town Musicians.